are deeply practiced, and that everything we've done for all the decades of our life is vital. So we really, really then ground into that and extend out for that. Open at the bottom, connected at the bottom into infinity and eternity, and open at the top, connected one with eternity and infinity. And maybe a big, big exhale. And a remembering of why we practice. And remembering the depth of any meditation we've ever had or witnessed, and the transcendent place of our experience that's inclusive of the physical, that's inclusive of all aspects, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, physical. And a sense of integration, that all aspects align. There's peace in all aspects. So we begin here then on purpose to be and express this here, to witness this here in these gathering of souls for the purpose of our own soul's evolution and for an expanding consciousness in us, in humanity, and in and for the world, knowing that we are as that, with that, for that, one with that. And so it is. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for setting a time and for doing what you're already doing in the world. And I love that I get to meet you in this way. And after today, if there's a way that I can serve you in any way, get directly in touch with me. MarthaCreek.com.
It's an awesome experience. So be ready for deep compassion, great love, and your Kentucky humor sometimes, and absolutely spot on questions. So be sure you're ready for truth.
Yeah.
When you call Martha.
That's coming from someone who, while others call me mentor, she may call me tormentor. Mm-hmm.
No, she hadn't thought of that word.
Yeah, so we'll be mentoring and tormentoring, and that's what our time is bringing for us too, I think. Yeah.
So as we move into this 10 o'clock time, let me just welcome you. I am waiting to see Jackie. Greg's our musician who will start us with some music. But I'm Dr. Carol Lawson. I'm the founding minister, the spiritual director of the Center for Conscious Living. For those of you that are joining us for the first time from someplace else, we're in Morristown, New Jersey, or southern New Jersey, although the field seems to be bigger this morning. So we're delighted to have you, and delighted to be here together. I'm looking for Jackie. I saw her.
She's here. I can see Jackie.
So are you ready, Jackie? We'll start with some music if she is.
She's asking you for just another second.
Okay. Well, let me introduce Michael Rogers. You can wave. Michael's our first practitioner today. We have several practitioners that are, I would say, around the room, but are around the field, holding us all in love. So if you have any challenge problems, just let it go, give it to them. They'll be praying for you during this whole service, this whole experience. And so you'll be free to just be here in presence.
I'm ready if you will. Can you?
The brilliant, the beautiful Jackie Greggs will do some opening music for us now.
Let me know if you can hear the music okay. Can you hear the music? Somebody nod.
Yes.
Nobody can hear the music?
Yes.
The background music is a little low.
Okay. Is that better? Okay. I'm gonna go for it. Namaste. Namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste. Namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. In your eyes I see a radiant light, the shining oh so clear, and through to each light. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. You give your loving heart to everyone you see. The way you live your life truly inspires me. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. 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 I see it. Namaste, I see the beauty in you. I see the courage in you. I see the courage in you. And I see the power in you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you very much.
Oscar,
Dean. a deep seeing she's talking about. So let me call on Reverend Michael Rogers, who's our first practitioner today, who will do our opening invocation.
All right. Let's just take a breath.
Come on, this way.
I'm going to mute everybody again, and then Michael, unmute yourself.
Okay. Let's just take a breath and come present and focus right into our heart. For it is the one heart of the Almighty that lives, breathes, and demonstrates our being in so many beautiful and loving ways. Knowing that we are whole, perfect, and complete in the heart and mind of the Creator, for it is the Creator that is living, demonstrating, loving. And we are instruments of that divine grace, of those magnificent virtues of the Almighty. As we just surrender ourselves completely to the love of the Lord, knowing this is our true calling, this is our true identity, this is the truth that we demonstrate in every area of our being. Let us give thanks and praise for this gathering of the Center for Conscious Living, for our founding minister, Reverend Carol, and for our guest speaker, Martha Crete, as the light and the love just is channeled through every word. Knowing that each person here in and of themselves is a demonstration, a manifestation, and a celebration of divine grace. That we send this love out to the world where healing does take place and people know their wholeness, know the divine grace of the Almighty that lives them present in every moment, that allows every cell of our being, every dimension of their existence, every grace upon their presence to say, yes, Lord, I am awakened, I am in loving, I am in grace, and I am truly thankful for all your bountiful blessings. Let love lead us, for it is who we truly are. And in this truth, together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Michael. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's ask Jackie to sing again.
Unmute.
You'll have to,
All right. I unmuted myself. Yes,
yes, but now you're unmuted.
I am.
Everybody can hear you.
Okay. You know, virtual. Hey. So listen, I just want to, this next song I'm going to do is called I Claim a Blessing. And it's a directive to you all today and for the rest of this week to claim your blessing of health, wholeness, and happiness and joy. And if, you know, I know it's hard for us, nobody can talk, but I appreciate a thumbs up as a reaction. All right, thank you. You're totally allowed to get up and dance if you want, I think. Yeah. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start the day. Knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. With conviction, one return, and the power of the spoken word. Take my life and redefine. Break the shackles of my mind. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I lift my thoughts to high ground, knowing miracles are all around. Each day unfolds just as it should when I am focusing on the good. Life is filled with opportunity. I wonder what good is coming to me. Yeah, I claim a blessing. I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yeah. I claim a blessing.
Thank you, Jackie. There, those of you that don't know, there's a button in the bottom of your screen that says chat. There's information in the chat about donating to CCL. There's also a question from Martha about what blessing are you claiming today? So I just wanted you to know, and the affirmation is in there too. So let's ask Michael to do our inspirational reading. Although it feels like every word being spoken today is that inspirational.
I agree, and I claim my blessings. Today's reading is from Science of Mind, Your Daily Wisdom with Dr. Ernest Holmes. It is page 156, and it starts off, truly my soul waiteth upon God, for him, from him cometh my salvation, Psalms 62:1. I know that today, even now, wisdom is available to me. There is no darkness in my mind, neither is there dis-ease in my body, because the spirit of wisdom, of truth, has revealed myself mental and physical perfection to me. The light of the spirit shines from the very center of my being. As a spark of God, I am illuminated by the spirit of wisdom. I am free from the bondage of all false beliefs. The spirit of wisdom enables me to see all others as they are in reality, perfect expressions of God. My thoughts are radiated with the light of spirit, and the light of my consciousness shines to the very circumference of the world. There is no indecision in my mind. In truth, there is only one power, only one God. I am directed by the spirit of wisdom, and I am assured of peace, joy, love, health, and plenty. Every blessing attends my footsteps, because spiritual consciousness directs me in the ways of my highest good. I know that I am guided onto right paths, and that only good can come to me and mine. For the spirit of wisdom directs my steps this day, and all steps always. Please join me in reading
There is
today's
an affirmation in the chat. If those of you that are on the computers can look at the chat and say this along with Michael.
Today,
Today,
I bestow the essence of love upon
everything.
everything. My soul meets the soul of the universe and everyone. This love is a healing power touching
Touching
everything into wholeness. I'm
I am
surrounded with friendship, love, beauty. I am one with the rhythm of life. I am at home with the divine spirit in which I am immersed.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And let's try another song from Jackie. She did send me a bio this morning, realizing some of you may not know her. She's very high energy, very soulful singing, and deep, deep consciousness. So I'm delighted. Jackie Greggs, she's got a new CD coming out. The title, Worth the Wait, scheduled any minute.
Worth the wait. That's perfect. Quick question, Reverend Carol. So is this I Am the Light Before?
After.
After. Okay. All right. Keep me straight. Thank you.
You know, we're all making this up as we go along. It's fine. Life is living through us.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you guys know, many of you may know this next song we're going to do. And it is called Oya Heya, which simply means praise the Spirit. I'm listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. You know it. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. I am lifted in the love of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is being. Praise the Spirit all day long. Praise the Spirit all day long. Come on. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. You might want to mute your mic. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. I am moving in the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God inspired, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Listen. There's a silence in the stillness. of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a light God is shining. Let us see it everywhere. Let us be it everywhere. Oh, yeah, hey, oh, yeah, hey, oh, yeah, hey, hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, oh, yeah, hey, oh, yeah, hey, hallelujah. Praise the Spirit, hallelujah. All day long, let's praise the Spirit. Praise the Spirit, all day long. All day long.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you very much. Beautiful. The lessons are everywhere for all of us. Yes. So, to those of you that might not know our guest speaker today, the Reverend Dr. or Miss Martha Creek, I don't really know what to say. She's filled with compassion, great love. She's ordained in religious science and divine science. She spent many years working with Unity churches and now is a member of Anton, affiliated New Thought Network, continues to minister to churches and to those that serve. One of her visions is being in service to those that serve. She has been traveling all over. I imagine that her life, like the rest of ours, is now being rearranged for her. We'll see how that unfolds. But it is, as I wrote, kind of a miracle that she's here. She's booked for the rest of the year or two and found herself free and able to be with us today. I wrote in my email, some of you maybe didn't get it, that the quote from Pam Grout, which says, next to God, Martha Creek may be the wisest, most wonderful teacher on the planet. I turn cartwheels in gratitude that our paths have crossed. And something in my mind thinks that I too turn cartwheels. In the very distant past, I used to, but I would if I could. I'm thrilled that you're here. Martha Creek, share us your wisdom and your light.
Thank you, Dr. Carol. It's an absolute privilege. I have a few beliefs left, and one of them is that God outdoes me. And this is absolute proof of it, that this was nowhere on my radar. This was nowhere in that calendar. And I was clearly prompted and guided yesterday to prepare that I would be part of somebody's very significant new iteration of church service today. And I kind of grinned at it like, well, wonder what that is, wonder where that is. And I wonder if it's true. And by golly, it is true. Here we are. So first of all, as Dr. Carol said, it is my honor, my privilege to be here because my calling and my life has been spent serving those who serve. And I have a very wholehearted, confident vision that we can get our teaching to the whole of the planet. And that I can reach this many, and then we can reach this many, and then eventually the center reaches this many, and then eventually virtual reaches this many, and then the whole of humanity has our teachings. The teachings that I suspect that you're very convicted in, and especially now in the time that we're in, that has caused for everybody in one way or the other a real stopping, a pause to not only remember who we are, but whose we are, and to really give thanks for any practice that you have, the meditations, the dance, the drumming, the body work, the healing, the tapping, the lamenting, which I got back into a little bit this week. I'll speak a little bit about it. If any of you follow Richard Rohr, it was in that daily contemplation from there. That's a resource I could recommend. There's so many. I don't know where I'd begin with offering resources. So I think the message today, is I kind of summed it up, is how to take a mess and make a message out of it. How to shift a mess and from seeing things as a mess to a message, and how to take the trials of this, and the way we're being tried in this, to triumph. So the journey between these, and then certainly a shifting out of how awful it is. How awful, awful, awful. And the tendency of the mind to want to awfulize, the tendency of the mind to want to speculate and exaggerate and go into an imagined future, and to come out of that, ain't it awful, to this is. And it may be too much of a stretch, and certainly for me to go, oh, this is just awesome. So not awful to awesome, but think about if we just lean that way, that even though, as the song says, that we claim a blessing in this, and that I'm willing to see that. And then the teacher, Ernest Holmes, over and over and over, you've said it and quoted it and sung it and noted millions of times, many of you, some of us, to renew our mind. It's written in all scripture and in the science of mind, that the changing of our mind is what changes our experience. The changing of our mind changes our experience. So this is a deeper call to that than ever before. And that we then, and particularly us in New Thought, I claim that and I speak now generally here, that there's a righteousness about us, to say, oh, we don't believe in fundamental beliefs. We don't believe in this. We don't believe in good and evil. We don't believe in good and bad. And it's like, it's not true. We absolutely do. And we call it positive and negative. So it's a same old paradigm with, painted purple instead of beige with a ponytail tail on it or something to kind of uplift it, versus this is about, I believe, saying that it's both and then therefore all in the human spectrum, all in the physical, to be included, and not to be seen and experienced as good or bad, because then we're addicted to it being good. We're addicted to it going our way. We get addicted to it turning out the way we had planned, and then we're offended and affronted and disappointed and sad and despaired in that when it doesn't go the way we imagined or the way we wanted or the way that we were praying for. And many of us then rarely will confess disappointment or confess that we have a feeling of insufficiency, a feeling of powerlessness, a feeling of even panic or fear or terror. And it's absolutely normal to have the feelings. It's absolutely normal to have it. And then if we don't admit that to ourselves and allow for some space for that, then it has a tendency to take over. So then we can then hold a space for others that say, well, sure, I have uncertainty. Sure, I understand your uncertainty. So some of it can be normalized so that it doesn't have the same tendency to go underground, so to speak. So think about then what just pausing a minute this morning and kind of tapping into your own heart and into your own mind. If you made a little room for your own uncertainty, for the uncertainty that you have and the need for certainty, the desire for certainty, to want to know, how's this going to go? How is this going to end? When is it going to end? What's the impact going to be? And the obsession of the mind to have a formula for it. The obsession of the mind to figure it all out, to get it all lined up. You know, the mind is built on its mechanisms of predict and control. Predict and control. So get a sense of what it would be like to just pull back a little bit, to give some space between that, and to allow the uncertainty, to give it some room, to normalize it, and to get a sense in your body and in your mind what it would be like to be in relationship with that uncertainty, a little friendlier with it. Little friendlier with that part of our humanness. And then to actually get in touch with the part of you that is in disappointment, that may have some sadness. Not to deny these feelings or to deny that it's your experience. And in observing that, we see that there's more to it than this. I have disappointment. I also have the capacity for something else. So disappointment is arising, disappointment is present. Sadness, despair, whatever it is arising, it's present. And I have a capacity to see this differently. I have a capacity to renew my mind, to change my mind, to get a different framework around this. And herein lies the power of God. Herein lies the power of the universe. The whole power of the universe lies in us stepping back a bit, pausing, accessing the part of ourself that sees, hey, I've got another option here. And then maybe with a breath or a little surrender, a big exhale, then we begin again. So a deeper pause. And I believe for us who's been on this track for a long time, decades, some of us, that it's not just a pause now, but a deeper pause. Presencing ourselves, prayer, whatever you call it's quoted as Martha Creek's 3 Ps, to pause, presence ourselves, pray, whatever presence would mean to you, to presence myself to the mind that's been written in Signs of Mind, in the scriptures, to be in the Christ mind, to be in the Christ consciousness, and then proceed. And in that order, to pause, pray, and proceed, there's more potential, actually infinite potential. And from this place of pure potential and alive presence, then we come to the world as form. We come to the world as leaders, as teachers. We come to the world as a model for how this can be then. So we have birthed into the world, even in this time, a new potential, a new way to see things, from mess to message, from trial to triumph. And to be making the way that we're tested here, being tested. And for me, I don't think it's God testing us. I believe it's what I'm here for. It's what salvation is about, to grow through this, to use anything that comes, anything that arises to grow and expand our own consciousness, to then make this testing and feeling tested, or believing that we're under some kind of test here, to make it a testimony for how that was used. So, you know, in the South, and as Carol said, from bug tussle, we would say, I got to take that poop, I got to take that poop, that manure, and I got to make something out of it. I got to take that poop and I'm going to grow something out of it. So it's not in vain. There's none of this that is in vain. And it is possible then that the entire process of this birthing, this entire process of this world, will now, of course, anybody can see that it's going to be a different way. The way we're doing church here is a different way to think about church, and a different way to be church, a different way to minister, a different way to be in ministry and to be ministered to. So that even though through the process of this will require an emotional maturity and a spiritual maturity that we've only conceptually considered up until this part. So it's like, so no more concepts about emotional maturity and spiritual maturity. And many of you heard me say before, it's like, we want this this spiritual maturity. We can quote platitudes and quote scripture and quote Ernest Holmes and quote whatever we quote, and it's a house built on sand. Until that is embodied and until that is integrated into our being, then it is still conceptual, and we cannot have a spiritual maturity without an emotional maturity. So then how to have emotions and to live in that world of emotions and our emotional aspect and not have emotions have us. So how to give space for emotions, to give space for the full spectrum of emotion and it not have us. So big deep breath, maybe everybody. And think about now, if any disappointment is present for you, even that allure that just how close that mind is to yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but that, yeah, but that, yeah, but that. What it would be like to observe that and back up just a little bit and give space for the disappointment. It's fine. It's welcome here. It's included. It's allowed for. And what's another option for me? How else can I see this? How else can I fulfill my own calling here? Because every one of you, no exceptions, you would not be on this call today if you were not called to be the changers of the world, to be who here to make a difference, to be here to bring heaven to earth, to be here to be the light of the world, that you are the light of the world. And you know this through the way you've been called to serve in whatever profession you're in. So then how to be then, even with the allure of the emotions, even with the allure to see this through the old lens of ain't it awful, through the old lens of this is a real problem, to see that there's actual physical plenty and more than plenty to physically be with and deal with here and to align with. And then in doing so, allowing for it, then I come from the higher part of the mind. So, you know, it's spoken about that, you know, this, we're here in this world to overcome this animal mind, to overcome the regressive part of our mind that goes into these old patterned ways of being, which includes being offended, for example. And Ken Keyes is quoted as saying there's more war caused by people being offended than, you know, by war itself, because every time we're offended, we keep re-offending. So it's like we're creating more and more of that. So even if those things like that we could drop, just these day-to-day ways that we keep war going and conflict going in that it's a high time to take our own inventories and clean our own houses in that way. And what I know for sure is that when we are in an hour of need like this, a deep, deep hour of need like this, that God asks for no credentials from us, so that we can come then in prayer, we can come in admitting this disappointment, whatever it is, and it's all just fine. It can be fine, and that it doesn't have to stop us from doing what we're here in the world to do. And that we are here, then you are here, I believe, to bring into form what you've read about, thought about, believed is possible, prayed for, worked for, what you've practiced in, and that this is the time, our greatest time in any of the lives that we've known, to do this. And that we become in the form, God on earth, Spirit, the Holy Spirit here on the earth, to turn any kind of so-called mess into message, and to take any test to testimony, and any trial and all the trials to triumph, and to be a model of how to shift from a 2,000-year-old archaic way of being in the mind, the animalistic, regressive way of mind, and that of the victim, to victory. A shifting, a renewing of the mind out of a victim approach to this, to what can be done, what's possible here, what can I do? And I've just started reading another book on Carl Jung, and the quote that I've referred to for years that came in today as I was preparing for this is, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. Until I make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our life. Unity says it as whatever thoughts you hold in mind, you create your experience. So until we make the unconscious conscious, it is directing our lives. We're calling it fate, or we're calling it, why is this happening to me? So get a sense then of what you can do. Get a sense of your deepest remembering in this very now moment, in this moment now, the deepest remembering not only of who you are, infinite and eternal in being, whose you are, and why you're here. What is your deepest heart's desire for what you would cause to be on this earth? I am here because. What is your because? And what will you be cause of? What can you look back on your life and say, I was causing that. I was being cause for that. So I invite you to say with me silently or aloud, I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I am here. I am here. I am here. So we consciously, purposefully, and intentionally then approach all that is, all that will be, including disappointment, shock, terror, rage, fear, worry, as an agency for transformation, an agency to make the unconscious conscious, an agency for transformation, an agency to move this from the underground into light. And to do so, we're being the light of that transformation, of that shift, of that movement. And that we surrender then and give up any notion that that we are here to create a world void of disappointment and void of human experience, but we know that this is included, that we're here then more inclusive, to include the fullness of the humanity integrated into the fullness of divinity, and that it's both and, not one or the other. And to know that, and to absolutely invoke that we're here knowing that this is a mighty, big, and auspicious stage of emancipation, of liberation, and that we're more in touch and have more access to the next greatest pattern of existence, the next greatest iteration of humanity, of conscious evolution. And that this fruitful foundation and the genuine heartbreak for some, the genuine heartbreak and the heartbreak and this tear in the fabric of humanity here is not in vain. And that we're here as messengers, as triumphant, as to live a life of testimony and to offer ourselves as victorious. And the measure of our courage will be our measure in how inclusive we can be with this, and to allow for what is, and to keep our minds and hearts aligned with a higher, more expanded consciousness. And this is the prayer that I spoke before some of you came on, so for the recording. And it's a quote actually that I've been making a prayer myself daily since I've read it. And it's from Martin Luther in the 1500s. I shall ask God mercifully to protect us. Then I shall fumigate. Help purify the air. Administer medicine and take it. I shall avoid places and persons where my presence is not needed in order not to become contaminated and thus perchance inflict and pollute others. And if God should wish to take me, God will surely find me. God will surely find me. And I confidently, prayerfully, gratefully, gracefully know that I have done what God expected of me, what God called me to do and be. Therefore, I cannot be responsible for my own death or for the deaths of others. And if my neighbor needs me, even if my neighbor needs me, however, I shall not avoid place or person, but will go there freely. So thank you for all you are and do in the world. Each and every one of you, I lift you up wholeheartedly. I lift you up that you are fully equipped for your mission here on this earth, called by and pulled forth by the vision of your own spirit. And I bless it. And any way I can serve you, get me word. We dedicate this time and this teaching to ever expanding consciousness, to the conscious evolution of humanity. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Martha. Deep gratitude. Thank you very much. So there would be either hands like this in quiet thing or deep applause in this new world. I think we do it through our hearts. So feel the deep gratitude from everybody as you remind us of the truth. And then after the talk, in our, feels funny to say normal, I may never say that word again. In our service, we have ushers come forward and we do an offertory and we have a beautiful song. So I will mention that there is information on how to donate to the center if you would feel moved to do that. It was at the beginning of the chat. I may be able to put it up again or not. I think we also put up an offertory blessing somewhere along the line, but I'll just say it as we receive this gift of consciousness and inspiration, and as we know that we are giving back that light as well. So we say, thank you, God, for this abundance, which is mine to share. I bless this gift and give it to thee in gratitude and joy, knowing that as I give, I do receive. And this is the truth, for sure. And Jackie will remind us.
I'm not hearing it there. Listen. 1 second. No. We're just gonna have to do this however it's happening. I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I am light.
Feel this everywhere, not just Jackie, everywhere.
Many of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I
am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all right, is all right, yeah, all right. I am light, I am light, oh yeah. I am light, I am light. I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Beautiful, Jackie. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you as well. There are a couple of questions from the chat. The last 4 digits somebody asked, Venmo is asking, of our phone number is 5683. Goes with love. And as to the recording, we'll see how it unfolds. I'm new to this. It is being recorded, so we'll put out what we can. Somebody's asked, and we've hit a limit of 100. So some people were locked out. So we will try and put up the recording, and we'll up whatever it is we need to have more people be present as well, so that we can all hear such beautiful things as this reminder, Jackie, that I am light. Thank you very much. As we move on in our service, we have a blessing that we offer anybody that might be with us for the first time. And I thought about this morning and thought, I think this is the blessing is for all of us, and the blessing is for all of us to send out. So I'll say it, and as you just let it reverberate, know that it's going out. It says, welcome to the Center for Conscious Living. And what if, as Martha is saying, we are each becoming more and more aware that we are each that Center for Conscious Living. So welcome to this Center for Conscious Living. We are a heart-centered spiritual community, and we open ourselves to you in love. Just feel that going out to yourself and from yourself out. We recognize the perfection of God within you. We celebrate the joyous being that you are. You are a radiant point of light, and we are blessed by your presence. Welcome home.
I love each and every one of you, and you, Dr. Carol. Thank you for your always learning and innovating and accessing your own higher mind and making this ministry possible for all these years for so many. And may you be ministered to as well. Look at these faces here and imagine how much they love you, honey, and what you've done over there in that center all these years.
Thank you very much. It's a lovely ending, Martha, but I have a couple more things. So, and we have what we call the Mastermind Covenant, and it's just another prayer, and I'll tell you the responses if you'd like to join. Knowing there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own, and knowing it is responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling, say aloud, I acknowledge. Surrendering to the power of this divine consciousness, and knowing I am guided and assisted past any limited perception to God's truth within, now say, I surrender. Knowing forgiveness is the key to change. I now forgive myself and others for all mistaken judgments, and I open the door to unconditional love by saying, I forgive. Realizing my life is the creation of my own thoughts, I now choose to fill my mind with thoughts that are positive, loving, and beautiful, and I allow my life to reflect that choice and accept all of it by saying, I choose. Holding this consciousness for the Center for Conscious Living, and I think we hold it for the world as well. We now thank God for the continued prosperity of each one of us and for everyone. For myself, I now go within to the silence of my own mind as I state my own specific intentions, knowing the universe says yes. Please repeat after me, I accept. With a thankful heart and knowing that all I have put into divine mind is now returned to me, I say, thank you, God. There's a covenant we say, I think we've changed it a little bit. I've seen it in unity a lot too. The love of God enfolds me. The mind of God inspires me. The Spirit of God enlightens me. The power of God encircles me. I am in God and all is well. For I am enthusiastic, excited, expectant, and at peace. We turn to each other. I don't know how we turn here, so we look out from our heart out. I'm grateful God has heard you. We are available for you in prayer. If you'd like to send a prayer request to CCL in Morristown, CCLINMOORESTOWN.com. And we'd be happy to take your prayer requests, send them out to our practitioners. We can put you on a mailing list if you'd like to know more about us. Course in Miracles will meet Monday night. See Ken Davis if you want to be on that call. And I think Jackie may have a offering as well. Thank you, Martha Creek, for for doing what you came to do. For knowing since 3 years old you're supposed to be doing this, and for reminding us all.
It's been a heartfelt privilege. And I've said to Dr. Carol here and there, she's like water on a plant that needs it. And that's what you all represent for me today. So think about me out in the world. I'm somewhere different, usually every 3 or 4 days. And just on to the next booking and mentoring and tormentoring and anything I can. And you all have been like a drink station for me today, like I'm a marathon runner. And you were my drink station. So thank you.
So feel it coming back, Martha. Yeah. As, I don't know what Jackie is going to do, but we're going to end with a song. We have another poem that's been sent in. Some of the people got locked out that were doing our last things. So we'll let Jackie sing, and we'll see how life is unfolding us.
All right, so I really want to leave us on a very high, positive, energetic note. And so the song that I'm going to leave us with today is called Let Love Lead the Way. And I invite you all to let love lead the way throughout this entire day and the rest of this week. And it is one of those songs that, I mean, you can chair dance if you want, or you can stand up and do whatever you feel like doing. There you go, Reverend Carol. Get us started. Here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the music really good. Can you hear the music good? Great. Yeah. When my world is not okay, when
when there's roadblocks in my way, when I feel so all alone, these words will bring me home. Let love lead the way, yeah. Let love lead the way, oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. When we can't see eye to eye, no matter how we try, we can find our harmony if you sing along with me. Come on, sing with me, everybody. Oh, let love lead the way. Yeah, I see you. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Come on, Martha, I see you. We're gonna let love lead the way. Yeah. In everything, let love be the gift you bring. Love will be the gift I bring. To give, to receive, straight from the heart. Oh, let love lead the way. Woo! Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Yeah. Let love lead the way. All right, now this is the part where you do a little chair dancing. Woo! Shimmy, shimmy. That's it. Yeah, shimmy, people. Let love. A little shimmy. Woo! Let love. Ah, here we go. Hey. Oh, gonna let love lead, gonna let love lead. Yeah. Ah, here we go. Each morning when I wake, there's a choice that I can make. In everything I do and say, I'll let love lead the way. Come on, y'all, last time. Let love lead the way. Hey. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Oh, yeah. We're gonna let love lead the way. Uh-huh. Let love lead the way. We're not done. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. I like what you're doing, Reverend Carol. Let love lead the way. Let love lead into this week. Let love lead the way. For the rest of the day, let love lead the way. Oh, we're gonna let love lead the way. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Take that energy, take that love, take this truth as we elevate our own consciousness, remember the light, share it with others everywhere. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Let love lead the way. Bye-bye.